Lesson 10, Fingerprint Identification and Classification. As we know, fingerprints help us to describe the features of our personalities as well as those of others. In this lesson, we will learn how many characteristics the fingerprint patterns will give out. In the world they have many varieties of fingerprints and the patterns of fingerprints. There are more than 45 different fingerprint pattern groups. However, in 1958, Jacqueline only studied 5 fingerprints that are closely related to human character. Although we have a lot of fingerprints, the science at that time was only able to study 5 fingerprint patterns showing the characteristics of a person. Let's take a look at your fingerprints and first look at the intersection. The intersection of the 3 lines in your hand is called the delta, where is called an intersection. Take a look at your finger with some points on a finger. Delta is the intersection of 3 lines and is called the intersection. How many delta on your finger? There are people who will have 2 intersections on one finger. There are those who only have 1 intersection, and there are people who have no intersection. There are many group forms as following. World group has 2 intersections. Loop group has 1 intersection. Arch group has no intersection. The world group is called an eagle group. Those who own fingerprints with 2 intersections will characterize the eagle. It is the strong personality of something extremely fierce. The loop group has only 1 intersection and its line looks like a water stream. Therefore, the loop group is known as a water group because the lines fall like droplets. The arch group has no intersection, which is called a mountain group. Thus, these 3 fingerprint groups will show 3 different characteristics of someone: eagle groups, water groups, and mountain groups. The eagle group is a strong personality group that is something very independent and self-reliant. Meanwhile, the water group is something very lighter, more flexible, and more affectionate. The mountain group relates to the image of a firmness, a persistence, a consistency, and clarity. 3 groups of fingerprints are representing 3 different groups of people in life. But that's still not enough. Everyone who belongs to the world group, eagle group, is not probably same as each other. We have a large eagle groups, but each person in there will have different personalities. In general, they all have the same thing: strength. However, the strength of a person is different from the others. Thus, in each of these fingerprint groups, it will be divided into many other small groups, and each such group will show special characteristics of each person. According to research, the fingerprint group that occupies the highest proportion in the world is in sequence as below: loop, water group, accounting for 60 to 65%, world group, eagle group, accounting for 30 to 35%, the arch group, mountain group, with no lines and interactions, only 5% in the world. Allocation table in the world. Indeed, when you understand the fingerprints, you will understand more about that person. For example, we have the eagle group with many different small groups inside. Besides looking at intersections, you should look at their center points. They maybe have many center points inside. Many center points will focus at one point or will last. So each of these fingerprints will represent a different personality. With a water group, we will look at the center point that the lines focus on under droplet form. If on the finger, its center is directed towards the little finger, it will be UL. In contrast, if it's directed towards the thumb, it will denote RL, radial loop. We always take a look on the thumb less than other fingers because the thumb is independent of the others, so the UL is always more than the RL. The next group is the mountain group, which has the general characteristics of the mountain that has no center point and delta intersection. There are many small groups considered as mountain group, even though they looks like water group. They will be quite similar to the water strain, but the distance from the intersection to the center is extremely close, under the 5 lines, so they are classified into the mountain group. On the other hand, some mountain groups are also like the eagles group. Due to the extremely close distance between the center point and intersection, it's classified into mountain group in spite of having eagle form. Thus, the mountain group not only has the non-center and non-delta shape, it also has another form of variation, the group of water and the eagle group, but the distance from the centers is very close to the intersections. And each of these fingerprints will have a different personality trait. We will explore this content in the next article.